It's going to be a high-pressure driven day. There's a big high-pressure system sitting over us, so we'll have another lovely sunny day. To start off with, however, there's going to be a light, reasonably stable wind coming from probably about north-northwest. Not too strong, 5 to 8 knots, and because everything's so cold relatively early in the morning, that should just actually be a nice steady breeze across the start line and across the western Solent. The boats that start off first are probably going to have the best wind to start in. It's not going to be it's going to be a reaching start as well, with the wind coming from the side, so they should be able to sail whatever course they choose to sail. But as the starts go on, especially for the last one, which is going to be about 8:30 from, if memory serves me right, the wind's going to be a little bit less steady then, a little bit less stable, and the last few starts need to make a really big effort to get the best of the tide and the best of what wind there is there to get them out of the Solent and around the back of the island. The really important bit, especially for the smaller, slightly slower boats, is to try and get to the Needles, to start going around the back of the island before the tide starts pushing you back up the Needles Passage, because it's going to be a period of about an hour or so where it's all light and variable, where as sailing meteorologists we're never allowed to say horrible wind, so it's going to be opportunity filled. So that makes the around the island race this year quite interesting. Well, it's always interesting, but it makes it much more tricky because it's not straightforward to plan the weather and to plan how you're going to deal with the weather. When the sea breeze kicks in, which should be round about noon, for the boats that have made it around the Needles and on the back of the island, that'll be a major bonus then, because they should then have the wind coming from their starboard side. The tide will have just turned and be going with them, and as they approach St Catherine's Point, they'll probably find a little bit of acceleration there because of the alignment of the cliffs with the wind direction. In general, that southwesterly 8 to 12 knots, once it goes past St Catherine's Point, will start to bend in towards Benbridge Ledge and towards the eastern Solent. So it is really an opportunity-filled day tomorrow. And if you just sit back and relax, you'll have a pretty slow way around. If you really try and get every small patch of wind, you'll probably not have the quickest day, but you'll do very well. So as the heat goes out of the day at about 5 or 6 o'clock, that's when the breeze will probably start to veer to the right again. It'll go more to the west and ease down a bit, so the true wind will be in single figures then. But the boats will be going upwind into that, so they should have a reasonable amount of apparent wind to go sailing in. If they're still there after dusk, it's going to drop off and go right back around to the north again, but let's hope that doesn't happen.